Hello guys and welcome to Allie and CoCo's Science Show. We are on the front porch enjoying some of the best watermelon of my life. One of Claude's favorite snacks. So I asked you guys over on my Instagram what you wanted to see here on the channel next, and most of you voted for an Allie and CoCo Sci Cinema, and what perfect timing because I was in the theater watching Jurassic World Dominion when I put this poll up. This was about a week ago, so hopefully my memory serves me correctly when I talk about the movie. But I do have some thoughts, especially because Jurassic Park, the OG, is my favorite movie of all time, and I really didn't like Jurassic World 2. I will put my Allie and CoCo Sci Cinemas in the description below for those. So you can go watch those. But just like with our Happy Feet video that I did last time, I'm going to go in chronological order of the movie and kind of jump in with some science things as we go along, and then I'll give a rating. So without further ado, let's get into it. So this is 4 years after the events of the last movie, and if you saw the last movie, you remember this little girl, Maisie, like opens the door to let all these dinosaurs out into the ecosystem. I had a lot of issues with it. It was silly. It was just silly Hollywood stuff. I did think it was kind of cool to see all the dinosaurs interacting out in the wild. Very exciting stuff to see a lot of diversity of dinosaurs. Yeah, and also the good and bad things associated with it. So that's how the last movie left off. So we got dinosaurs all over the place. So Claire and a couple other peeps in her dinosaur rights activist group are sneaking into like a feedlot of sorts. I don't know what they're doing with these dinosaurs, but they're trying to dig up some dirt on like a triceratops feedlot situation, and I don't know if they're bred for meat. The babies are separated, which is a milk thing. There was this part where her friend was like, "Are you doing this for the health of the dinosaurs or to clear your guilt?" And I was like, we like to see it. We like to see some thought process going in there. Also, she worries about this baby dinosaur, which, bad situations, right? Baby dinosaur probably needs better conditions, but she has no problem driving through the adults and using the adults to like stop her attacker. It's a little like contradictory. Like, you could injure the adults are running into like full-on cars, and so it was like kind of cringy, for lack of a better word. So anyway, yeah, she's in like a dinosaur rights group, and Owen is roping dinosaurs to get them, I think, somewhere safe. And Maisie is now kind of like their adopted daughter, and she's like a brooding teenager, and she's like, ugh, I hate living in a cabin in the woods. And like, I bet, right? It's cold, looks cold. She runs into Blue, and Blue has a little baby named Beta. How? We later find out it's like an asexual reproduction thing. They don't really explain it, like, for Blue's case, but then they do. They're like, we know what happened. So, there you go. So she bikes away for a little bit of freedom. It's cute stuff. And then we see a couple, like, apatosauruses walking in the snow. Very cool stuff. The CGI wasn't so bad in this one. It's a really magical moment. So then we go to Dotson from the original.
Dotson! We've got Dotson here!
Dotson. From this company called Biosyn Genetics, and he sent some dudes. I think they were the same guys that were roping dinosaurs with Owen, but I actually have no idea. I'm really bad with like names and faces and stuff. And they're like, we found the baby Velociraptor and Maisie. And so they steal this little girl, they throw her bike in the river. Rude stuff, but we'll get back to them. So then we get to another subplot. There are these giant locusts, and they're like sweeping through and like destroying all these like cute family farms and stuff. So my girl, Dr. Ellie Sattler, listen, I'm a sucker for the old guys. I know it's fan service and I don't care. Dr. Sattler, she like gets one of these giant locusts, which I did a little research. They weren't ever that big, but I guess Biosyn did some genetic engineering on them. Hollywood science. Let's go with it. So she goes to Dr. Grant, and she's like, nice dig site. And honestly, I dig it too. It looks really cool. Looks really fun. Looks realistic, except that like the fossils are like perfectly placed and like ready to go. And it's honestly one of my favorite science jokes in the Jurassic Park movies. Like, a lot of scientists are like, it's never like that, but I think it's funny. So, she's like, hey, this Cretaceous species of locust is destroying all this plant life, and I think it's biocin. We gotta go to biocin to get like information on it, but I need you to come with me. Come with me. We're gonna go see an old friend. It's Jeff Goldblum. He's like, I got a tour. I need your help. And he's like, you know what? Freak it. Let's go. So they go. And then we go back to Claire and Owen. Like, it's kind of a back and forth between these different storylines, and they're in Malta because they're like, we found out Maisie is going to Malta, and this is probably one of the most interesting scenes to me because I loved seeing, it was tragic, but I do love the amount of detail they had in the like dinosaur black market, seeing different ways of cooking them and eating them, trading them, fighting with them. Thought it was very interesting. I liked the diversity, the creativity. Like, I think they really did their research here, which was very cool. And yeah, like, you know, taking what happens to animals in the real black market and like, how would dinosaurs be affected by this? We meet a very cool lady, Kayla Watts. She's a cargo pilot, she's a cargo pilot. And she's like, I saw your girl. I can take you to her. I know her. She went to biocin. And they're like, biocin? What? And then this lady, she like, she points a laser at them and sends some raptors. Here's where we get a little Hollywood. Somehow, what's his name? Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt knows exactly where he's going all the way over Malta. He's like, you go with the cargo plane, I'll meet you there. And he goes. Chris Pratt, Owen, he's rooming all over Malta. Apparently, he's got the map on the back of his hand because he knows exactly where he's going and exactly where to go to the cargo plane. We don't ask questions, but he gets on the cargo plane. Last second kind of thing. It's intense. Very Hollywood. Another thing just before, like, we're going to see this more, but every time there's a carnivorous dinosaur, Colette, I need you to stay right there because they do this. This is, I hate this so much. So every time there's a carnivorous dinosaur, they do this. Like, if they want to eat your hand, they're gonna eat your hand. And I know he did that with his trained raptors in the first Jurassic World, but like, that wouldn't work with just every carnivorous dinosaur. Like, they don't know what that means. They've never been trained on that. Anyway, now they're on their way to biocin, which has like a dinosaur conservation area. It's like a warm tropical area with like tree ferns and stuff in the middle of the snowy Italian mountains. How? Maybe a climate controlled dome? But, you know, it's the future maybe. Dr. Malcolm gives Ellie and Alan a very interesting tour of biocin, and then he like tells them like, hey, you need to go to this area with my super secret bracelet. It's gonna get you there, get you the information you need. And they're like, what? Can we trust this guy? I don't know. Also, Dodson gives them a tour of the lab, and he's like, this is our 100%. We found all the DNA of this feathered dinosaur. And listen, it wouldn't happen in science. As we talked about in the Jurassic Park Sci Cinema, the DNA would be completely, you know, broken down at this point. But I love the diversity, and I love seeing the little baby dinosaur and Alan Grant getting all up on it again, like just like the original. It was a good moment, and the dinosaurs cute as hell. So then we shoot back to Maisie and her storyline, and Dr. Wu is like, dude, you're not a clone. Your mom, Charlotte, used her DNA to make an exact copy of her, but altered her DNA so that Maisie didn't die of a genetic disease that the mom had. And so now Maisie and Beta are all of a sudden the secret to stopping this like Lotus issue, because Dr. Wu wants to study them and then input the Lotus with like some DNA to kill them off in a generation. There's a lot to unpack here. Animals, fungi, and plants, they can asexually reproduce. In some cases, it's called, in this case, parthenogenesis. But with today's technology, You know, you can't just inject someone and change every single DNA in your body. Maybe there will be a future in gene editing to help with stuff like this, and there are labs studying this, but I saw this movie with a bunch of genetic scientists, and we had a good time. It was fun. But we were like, yeah, it's a fun Hollywood movie. I'm sorry I didn't take you. We could have gone to the drive-thru. The drive-in movie? Yeah, we could have gone. Another thing is there's this concept, and I've talked about it here on the channel, called epigenetics, where basically you have your DNA, but only so much of it is expressed. And through your life, different genes may be expressed, different things may mutate. So I could have an identical twin, but based on how I live my life, I could have like more wrinkles or freckles or different blemishes and be taller or shorter, even if we have the same DNA. So I know, like, for Hollywood purposes, it makes sense to just use the same actress, so people understand, oh, they have the same DNA. But, you know, perfect world, they would look like very similar, but like have some difference. You could tell the difference between the two in real life. So, but it's a movie, it's not real life. I need to remember this. Now we get back to Owen, Claire, and Kayla, and there's some Quetzalcoatlus dinosaurs, some pterosaurs attacking the plane, and it's spooky. It's very Hollywood. So they're like, we only got one parachute. We gotta eject Claire from the seat. Very Hollywood. Very Hollywood. There you go. Just kadoo, she goes, and she has this amazing scene where she's like creeping through, trying to get away from a dinosaur. Very Hollywood. Steven Spielberg. Like, she has to crawl into the water. It's good stuff. Kayla and Owen have to walk across some ice with a pyroraptor coming after them. Look at this. It's a feathered dinosaur. I love seeing the feathered dinosaur. Now it just dives into the icy water. Are their feathers waterproof? Do they have any way of like thermoregulating to get their body temperature back up? I don't know. But it's fun. Alright, so then we go back to Jeff Goldblum and Dodson's assistant Ramsey. Both of them are like, Biosyn sucks. We gotta get out of here. And they send Ellie and Alan secretly and sneakily down to the locust lab. Ellie gets a sample, but then there's like this chaos, and all of the locusts start freaking out. And there's this great scene where they're like, oh, on the glass. And Maisie, who's kind of escaped where she's being held, lets them out. Somehow they're like, you're Maisie, right? Hey, bada bing. So they end up getting on a train and leaving, and Dodson finds out that she has a locust DNA, stops the ride, and they have to get out through a cave, like Indiana Jones style. In fact, there's like a great Indiana Jones like grabbing the hat moment. There's a great scene though where they're trying to, like, Jeff Goldblum's using the gate code outside the tunnel, and they're like, let us out, there's all these, I don't remember, Dilophosaurus or something coming after them. He's trying to do the gate code, and Ramsey's like, use the gate code, and Jeff Goldblum's like, I got it, I knew. Is perfection. It's everything I wanted. Oh, you gonna take a little break? Okay. Claire and Owen are walking around the woods. Everyone's in the woods. And Dodson's like, I gotta get rid of this evidence. And he burns the locust, and they escape out of a vent, and just, Dr. Sattler's like, he's burning the evidence. But, it also kind of like sets some of the forest on fire. No biggie. There's a lot of callbacks in this scene. This is where, I don't remember how, I think they got like knocked over by a dinosaur. Alan, Ellie, Ian, Malcolm, Kayla, everyone's kind of together, and there's this great trade-off between who's interacting with who, and they have to get away from a dinosaur. A lot of callbacks to the original movies, like with cars about to tip over and things like that. It's great, and they go up in a treehouse. Definitely a lot of fan service, but like, I don't mind. I'm not gonna say no to that. And this is where it gets silly. They just left Biosyn, but now they're like, we need to go back to Biosyn. They need a chopper to evacuate. Owen's getting beta, but they need to like bypass the energy because there's like a shield. I don't know. It makes Hollywood sense, I guess. Ellie and Claire, they go, and there's like a lot of callbacks to the original when Ellie, Dr. Sattler, has to go turn on the energy, even down to like, I'm on this channel of radio, like, don't worry about it, like, I got this. Turn the energy off, they get beta, they get on a chopper, or they run into a chopper. In this moment, while Dodson is on the underground little train, choo-choo train, trying to escape with all the information he needs to like keep doing what he's doing, The train stops and a bunch of Dilophosaurs attack him. It's a great callback to when Dennis is doing the same thing, trying to leave with like the shaving cream of DNA and like paper, like trying to get the information out, and gets eaten by Dilophosaurus because of Dodson. It's full circle. So they're into the chopper, and there's a huge battle between Giganotosaurus, Therizinosaurus, and of course the T-Rex. It's not a Jurassic Park film without the T-Rex coming in to save the day. And there's like a 3 dino battle. Dr. Wu's like, wait, I want to come with you and I want to help with the locust situation. They all get on the chopper, they all escape. Beta is given back to Blue. Dr. Wu fulfills his promise and is like seen defeating the locusts. Ellie and Alan get together. Congrats to them. Like, we've been rooting for it since 1993. Owen, Maisie, Claire, everyone's happy. And, you know, the world's somewhat at peace. There are still dinosaurs running all over the world. We did not solve that issue at the end of the movie. In fact, and I very much believe the locust plot is made to be like, see, there's a bigger issue. Let's worry about the locusts and not the dinosaurs. Because all the video, all the shots of the dinosaurs doing stuff amongst like real elephants and like blue whales, they're all like very peaceful. Whereas I feel like a mosasaur would like try and eat a whale, but it's okay because they solved the locust issue, right, Colette? Yeah. So that's the movie. Yeah. But yeah, the giant locust subplot makes it you feel a little better about dinosaurs destroying the entire ecosystem, because at least it's not the locusts destroying our entire food supply. So that's good, unlike all the small local farms, right? Good times. Things I did like, I like that Dr. Wu got a redemption arc. He wasn't the bad guy in Jurassic Park, but for some reason the Jurassic Park sequels and Jurassic World went from scientists are the heroes to scientists are the bad guys, and they're crazy mad scientists who are doing crazy things. So he gets a little redemption arc. He solves the problem of the locust issue. But yeah, they made him such the bad guy in Jurassic World and the Camp Cretaceous series on Netflix. So I'm glad they stopped doing that. I also liked the variety of dinosaurs and the feathers and like having these new different features. The black market. So many details. So awesome. And I love that Ellie and Alan finally ended up together. Thank goodness. Also that Alan kind of had a moment of, I don't like doing digs all the time. Because sometimes, like in academia, you reach a breaking point and you're like, this is not for me. Or like, I'm tired of this and I want to do something new. And he did. Good for him. So let's give this a rating. I watched this movie. I went in with my expectations on the floor. Jurassic World 2, terrible movie. Especially coming from Jurassic Park being my favorite movie. And I kind of like the first Jurassic World. I feel like with these movies, they don't understand what makes Jurassic Park so good. It's not the scary dinosaurs. The scary dinosaurs are fun. But, you know, the Jurassic Park came in the 90s when we had this like this huge dinosaur movement. So everyone loved dinosaurs back then. It was all the rage. And so we liked the hero scientists, right? We liked seeing the cool dinosaurs and the wonderment, and it's beautiful, and the effects in the original Jurassic Park, wonderful. So I went to this movie with my expectations on the floor because I didn't like the second one, and I heard it had been kind of bad. And I also spoiled myself with the locust subplot, and I'm so glad I did, because if I went into that movie not knowing about the locust, I would have been like, what's going on? What is this? I loved seeing, I know it's fan service, I loved seeing the OG cast together and kind of interacting with the new cast, so I did really like that. And with my expectations on the floor, I just went in like, I'm ready to just have a good time. And I did. I had a really fun time watching this movie. Like, I went out of the theater thinking, I haven't had this much fun at a movie theater experience in a long time. So, with that said, objectively, not the best movie, but a fun watch. So I'm giving it 3 out of 5 roaring dinosaurs. So my recommendation to you is to go in with low expectations and you won't be disappointed. There you go. Honestly, since the first Jurassic Park, this is probably my favorite Jurassic movie. Jurassic Park is top tier movie for me, but Jurassic World and Jurassic World 3, they might have to battle it out because I loved seeing the park in Jurassic World 1. But I like the OG callbacks in Jurassic World 3, and I love the dinosaurs. So, from a science perspective, there's a lot of Hollywood science in this. It's not very scientifically accurate. Like I said, I saw this with my genetics friends, and we all had a good time. We were all laughing about some of this stuff, you know, over pizza later, but a very silly science time. Not accurate, but I did like seeing, again, the diverse dinosaurs. If you want a more accurate representation of dinosaurs, I highly recommend the Apple TV Plus Prehistoric Planet. David Attenborough, it's fantastic. Great animation. It's breathtaking. If you want to see more realistic dinosaurs with more research behind it, highly recommend that. So for this science, I'm just going to give it 2 Mr. DNAs out of 5. Not very scientifically accurate. So for the question of the week, I want to know, what's your favorite dinosaur? I think I've asked this before. I'm a Brontosaurus girl, or like any sauropod. I really relate. I'm tall. I eat vegetables. I'm vegetarian. Coco, what about you? What's your favorite dinosaur? The size of a cat. IRL. So, with that said, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to comment down below what your favorite dinosaur is. And also, in the comments down below, did you see Jurassic World 3, Dominion? Did you like it? Did you have a fun time? Or are you like, not the best? So let me know your thoughts on Jurassic World 3 down in the comments below, and give this video a thumbs up if you just had a fun time, or you like cute watermelon loving puppies. And with that, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to follow for more adventures, and I'll see you next time. Bye!